All right, so let's get right into it. If you're a photographer or a YouTuber or both, the new federal government guidelines for the FinCEN beneficial owner page requires you to report your business information. There is a $500 a day penalty for failing to do this, and it is kind of snuck up on people. This was introduced in December 2023 and became effective in January 2024. And the penalties are quite heavy. So I don't know when you're watching this, but if you formed your LLC in 2025 or later, you only have 30 days to comply or they're going to start charging you $500 a day. If you formed it in 2024, you have 90 days to comply or they start charging you $500 a day. If you formed it in 2023 or older, then you have some time. It's really not clear which. Some reports I've read said on the anniversary of the formation. So if you formed your business in June 1st, then you have till June 1st to get done. Or some other reports I've seen say till the end of the year, January 1st, 2025. But you can still end up getting the $500 a day fee for not complying this information. So let's get right into it. Who needs to file? Anybody with an LLC if they're a 25% owner or more. And that's basically anybody with an LLC that's sole proprietor or single person with spouse, or if you have up to 4 people and you are equal owners. You all have to file. We're going to walk through the process here. Bear in mind that I am not a tax attorney nor a CPA. I discovered this information sort of by accident. I created my LLC in January of 2024, went to my CPA and asked her if there was anything that I was missing in all the documents that I had, and she said it was all fine except for, hey, there's this new law, and if you don't comply, it's a $500 a day fee. Well, that was quite the surprise. Had I not known, I could have easily fallen into this category, and I hope this video will help you to avoid that. If this is news to you, please post a comment down below and let us know how you found out about it. Also, we would appreciate a thumbs up. That would help people get this information out there to other people who are also in the same boat as the rest of us. And hopefully people can avoid getting penalties. Also, we would greatly appreciate a subscribe. Let's get into it, shall we? Okay, off of the main FinCEN government page, there is an FAQ, and you should go ahead and look through that entire thing. The two main things to look at is who needs the report and when does it trigger an update to the report. So the simple answers are, if you own an LLC where you are a 25% owner or more, then you need to report this beneficial owner information to the FinCEN website. A triggering event that needs to be updated is if you have a change in ownership. For example, you no longer own 25% or more, or perhaps you own the whole thing, or you have moved addresses and the like. We'll look at that step during the process, but we'll walk through the whole thing here. You can just Google FinCEN, F-I-N-C-E-N, beneficial owner information and find the page there, but I'll link it down in the description below where you need to go file this. Okay, we're just going to select here to file online, and it will take us right to the beneficial owner information report. And here at the very top, you'll see the different types of events that will cause you to have to refile. So right here, we're just going to be doing the initial filing. But if you need to correct a report or you need to update the report, for example, your address changes, then you need to come through this process. The last option here in this list is newly exempt entity. And that is if you already have filed your beneficial owner information and now your company becomes exempt because you have a change in your status, which most of us will never be. But if that is you, then you would want to file here, and that is a triggerable update. Okay, below the filing information, you'll see that there's the date prepared, and that is automatically filled in by the system. You don't need to put any information in there, just click next. Okay, on the next page, you'll see right up here at the top, you have the option to request a FinCEN ID once this is all said and done. I recommend it. The reason being that down the line, if you have an update to your FinCEN, change address or the like, that will be helpful in going ahead and putting the update in, but it's not required. And also, if you're a foreign pool investment vehicle, which if you are, then this is not the video for you because I don't know anything about that. This is for U.S. companies, U.S. LLCs, and their owners here. The next part of the reporting is reporting your company's legal name. So you'd put my company name, LLC, here, and any alternative names that you go by below that. Okay, so a little bit lower in the page, you see that we have to fill in our tax identification number. And if you have an LLC, you probably already have a federal EIN number. That's what goes here. If you have a sole proprietor LLC and you don't have an EIN number and you're just using your social security number, you can put that in here. But you probably have an EIN number. So go ahead and put that in. Select EIN or social security number and put the appropriate number in below it. Country or jurisdiction right below that. That's only, again, if you're outside the U.S., and this is not what we're covering here. All right, a little lower down the page, the next section has to do with the jurisdiction of formation, where you registered your LLC. That's typically going to be the United States and the state, and you can identify whether or not it's in a tribal jurisdiction. And then below that, we have our address. All right, down here at the bottom, we're going to talk about putting in your U.S. address. And again, like the section directly above this, this revolves around where it was formed. So if you formed it in New York or California or wherever in between, that's what you would put in here. Not necessarily where you currently are at. This is where it was originally formed and the address of the original formation. If you've moved since then, that gets addressed later. If you've moved after you've created this beneficial information report, then you'll need to come in and do the modification. Okay, one last note on this page before we click next. Remember that if you have any changes that you need to modify your beneficial owner information for, those changes need to be reported within 30 days. Otherwise, you're going to end up with the same fee that we talked about earlier in this video. So be aware that once you've inputted your information, if there is a change, you do need to report it to the beneficial owner information right away. All right, let's click next. Okay, so this next page is rather confusing, and you can click on the need help question marks and it'll expand it a little bit more. I actually had to call my CPA on this, but apparently if you were formed in 2024 or later, then you can just click this check box and then you won't be able to fill out this information. However, if you have an older company, then this information here is not the same as the previous page. It could be, but it's not necessarily has to be. So if you went to your state's website to fill out the LLC information, then you are going to be the applicant, the first applicant. There's an option to add a second if there are two. Now, if you hired somebody to form this LLC in 2024 or after, ideally they will have filled this out for you. If not, they would be the company applicant that you would put out here on the first one. Now, if you did have somebody form your LLC for you, again, they would be company applicant 1 in this case, and you would be company applicant 2. Okay, so this next page, which is the beneficial owners tab, gets a little bit more complicated. if you're a sole owner LLC, then this information that's here is just you. Your name, your address, and your state ID. If you have more than one owner, like you and your spouse, then they would both go in here. If you have up to 4 owners, because you're required to report if you own 25% of an LLC or more, then you would need to list everybody here. And of course, there's a section with, if you're a minor, then you would need to check that box. And if the person filling this out already has a FinCEN number, you would put that in here as well. This section does get a bit complicated, and the right person to answer these questions for you, if you are not sure of the answer, gets even more complicated. I would think that your CPA would be able to help you with this, whoever is doing the taxes with your LLC, but you may need a tax attorney or someone along that lines to help you figure out with regard to the formation of your LLC. So you would know better who that would be based on the complexity of your LLC. Okay, at the bottom of this page, you'll see that it does ask for your identification. And the drop-down box gives you several options, but of course the state ID is probably going to be the easiest, your driver's license. And there is a spot for you to put in your driver's license number, and then also to upload an image of your driver's license. So they want to really know you well. Okay, and one last time, you'll see up here at the top in the beneficial owners section, you'll see there's a button that says add beneficial owner. And if you have more than one, you need to press that button and go through the process of this page again. Okay, so we're at the last page. This is the submit page. I highly recommend you put it in your email so that you can get a confirmation for the report that you just filled out. And if you selected to get a FinCEN number, then that should be supplied to you as well. Okay, that's the end. You click submit, and then you have to do a CAPTCHA to make sure you're a human. And then you'll get a confirmation page like this one. I've blurred out my information, of course. But then you should be done. Go ahead and download that. Get your ID number that's on that page and save it so that you have it for your information for your accountant. Well, I hope you found this useful, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up. That will help share this information to those who need it. And please click subscribe. We appreciate it.